First, the government has warned against stigmatization of Kenyans returning to work from COVID-19 quarantine or isolation centers. Head of Public Service Joseph Kinyua saying no one should be discriminated against, instead directing all public officers returning to work from quarantine or isolation centers, plus their co-workers, to integrate. Sam Ogina with the details.
The government is now battling stigmatization and victimization of coronavirus patients in the country. With reports of stigmatization of COVID-19 patients on the rise, government has issued a stern warning against discriminating individuals who are returning to work from COVID-19 quarantine or isolation centers. The head of public service, Joseph Kinyua, indicating stigmatization of such public officers is an offense and no one returning to work from isolation or quarantine facilities should be discriminated or stigmatized. The government now directing all government ministries, state departments, county governments and commissions to set up counseling programs for its officers who have been quarantined or recovered from the virus at isolation centers. A return to work protocol for public officers released by the head of public service, Joseph Kinyua, also directs co-workers to go counseling to facilitate for a seamless integration of their colleagues back into work. But before returning to their workstations, a public officer under quarantine or isolation facility has to obtain a certified clearance from the facility before leaving. After being released from the facility, they must then self-isolate for further 7 days after the date of medical clearance before returning to their workstations. The public officer must also adhere to the Ministry of Health guidelines of wearing of masks, social distancing, and maintaining hygiene. And upon returning to work, the officer on their first week should discuss with their supervisor of any changes or adjustments in their work plan. These individuals qualify to be considered for shorter working hours. The circular by the head of public service comes even as the health ministry urges Kenyans to accept coronavirus recovered patients back into society after many faced stigmatization. The health ministry indicating it had received numerous complaints of patients who had recovered from the virus or those who had returned from quarantine being shunned. The stigmatization of the virus now being viewed as an impediment in the targeted coronavirus testing as residents fear testing positive to avoid stigmatization.
Stigmatization will lead to fewer Kenyans accepting to be tested, and it will frustrate the efforts that we are putting on the ground to ensure that we flatten this curve. So we really do appeal for compassion in the community, for understanding, and even for celebrating these people who have been able to go through such a scourge and come out and recover.
Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.